What's going on, guys? It's Connor here with TC Bros, and today we're going to be taking a set of our Sportster mid controls and installing and assembling them on the bike. So something important to note for this, not all bikes are the same, right? So some of these bikes that you have will have forward controls, will have mid controls already on them, you're just upgrading. Some of them you're going to have to take the exhaust off for, some you won't. In our case, we've already disassembled the bike with the original controls. We're going to show you a basic install. If you ever were to have questions, we do provide super detailed instructions with the kit. But for time's sake and video's sake, we're going to head and go through some things a little bit quicker. So the first thing we're going to do is install the shifter lever on the bike. Now it's important to note that you will want a plastic hammer so you don't mar up the outside. And you're going to want blue Loctite for all the bolts that you install when we put these mid controls on. Then we're going to just tighten down the bolt on the top with a 1/4 inch Allen, and that part of it's done. Then we're going to go ahead and grab our left hand mount and get our foot pegs ready to go. Now I went ahead and installed the foot peg before I put the mount on. You could also do it after, however you do want to make sure that you put that bolt in there for the foot peg, otherwise you're not going to be able to clear it once it's on the bike. So I just went ahead and put it on there before. So we're going to go ahead and put the left hand mount on. I use a 5/16 Allen for this part. You're going to want a little extension, otherwise it's really tight in there. Tighten those down, and our shift side is almost done. There's only one thing we have to do yet, and that is set the angle of the foot peg. You want to ensure that this is about a 45-degree angle, so that way if you were to drag it on the ground, it would be able to flip up freely and not interfere with anything. Now moving over to the right hand side of the bike, like I said earlier, some bikes you'll be able to do this without removing the exhaust. Mine was only 2 bolts and it came loose, so I went ahead and removed it just for ease of clearance. Similar to the left hand mount, the right hand mount goes on just about the same. We're going to use Loctite to make sure these aren't going to come loose later, and you want to make sure that you install your bolt before you put your foot pegs on. Now this one's super critical. You definitely will not have the clearance to put that on after, so you want to make sure you get that bolt in there, and then you can go ahead and tighten down the bracket. We've already connected the heim joint to the brake pivot assembly, so now we're going to go ahead and connect the brake pivot assembly to the right hand support using the foot peg clevis. Then we're going to grab our 7/16 wrench and secure the heim joint to the threaded hole of the OEM brake pivot that's located just in front of the rear brake master cylinder. There's not a whole lot of clearance here, so I went ahead and threaded it as far as I could by hand and then used the 7/16 to tighten it down. Next, throw a little thread locker on and install your brake lever. You'll just need a 3/16 Allen for this. Then we're going to go back and install our foot peg. Those could be really done in either order. And just like the left hand side, we're going to install these foot pegs so that way they're on a 45-degree angle to allow them to move freely if your bike was to get low enough that it would scrape. Once we have that angle where we want it, we're going to use our 3/4 inch wrench to tighten it down. And in my case, I'm going to reinstall the exhaust onto the bike. Tighten up the 2 1/2-inch bolts on the bottom, and we're almost done. With everything installed, you'll want to sit on your bike and check that the shift levers and brake levers are in a comfortable position and you can operate them easily with your feet. They are adjustable if they're not, and the instruction sheet tells you exactly how to do that. And that's going to be it for our Sportster mid controls installation. Again, we include a sheet with way more detailed instructions that you can always refer to at any time. Get yours today at tcbros.com.